number 17, and it is substances that are hazardous to health. And so with substances that are hazardous to health, sometimes they can be acute, where you can feel the effects of it very quickly, or they can be chronic. It may take many, many years for the symptoms to come out. A prime example of that would be asbestos. We thought asbestos was a great material back in the 70s, to find out that it was highly dangerous with things like lung cancer, asbestosis, and things like that. So it's very important that the substances that we use, we correctly assess them, and then we put measures in place to protect the workforce. We deal with quite a lot of different substances through flooring, different types of screeds, adhesives, etc. And they have varying levels of potential to harm individuals. So each time we use one, we have to assess it. So what I've got here is a copy of the RAMs that we use, and if you scroll down to page 2 of the RAMs, you will see on each set of RAMs we have a list of substances that we use. So the top row is a picture of it, then it's the title, and then you'll see these areas here, MSDS, so that is the Material Safety Data Sheet, so that is a link to that. And then we have different levels of hazards below, so you'll see each hazard has a particular number, and that means a certain hazard linked to that substances. And then below that we have extra certification links. Then we have any particular hazardous symbols, and then we have the PPE that should be used, and then if we have a method of use video by the manufacturer, we put that in there. But the main thing is we identify all the substances that are coming onto site, and then we assess them through a Coshh assessment. The first part of it is when I'm doing it, we link in and we have a safety data sheet like that, and that gives the assessor all the information that they need to conduct a Coshh assessment. Okay. From the information that is on this sheet, a Coshh assessment is then made. This is an example of our Coshh assessments. Typically they're about 3 pages long. So you will see with it has the title, what the reference number is, what the material looks like, so a viscous white emulsion in this case for FBOL F46. Who's it assessed by? Any exposure limits, so is there a certain amount of time that you cannot exceed when using that? For this, there's none. The date which the assessment was carried out, and then what it is, so a pressure sensitive acrylic adhesive for vinyl flooring. No risk phrases, no safety phrases. Okay, who it is that makes it, and their contact details. The properties of the substance, so again, any hazardous elements to that, it'll be marked in there, and in this case there's none. Routes of exposure, so you can get exposure to it through the skin, you can ingest it by swallowing, you can get it through the eyes, or you can get it through, or you can inhale the fumes of it. Persons at risk, so the users of the product and the workers. Really, we don't see members of the public, young persons, or visitors being at risk to this. PPE that we use, so gloves and glasses when you're using it. Okay, you'll see there are other ones here. There are coveralls. We have particulate masks here, vapor masks, a visor, protective footwear, but in this case it is just these two. And then general precautions for use. So use it in a well ventilated area. Prolonged contact with the skin may cause irritation. And then what it contains. Okay, control measures. So it says here, wear your glasses, wear your goggles, and nitrile cotton gloves as well. Okay. And then very important, first aid and hygiene arrangements. So if you inhale it, remove into fresh air, keep warm at rest, seek medical assistance if symptoms persist. Skin contact, thoroughly wash with soap and water, remove contaminated clothing, launder before reuse, seek medical attention if symptoms persist. Eye contact, removal of any contact lenses, irrigate immediately with clean water, ensuring eyelids are lifted. Continue for at least 15 minutes. Obtain medical advice. Symptoms persist. Ingestion. Again, if you swallow it, don't try to vomit it up. Wash your mouth with water, but don't swallow it. Give plenty of water to drink. Seek medical assistance if symptoms persist. Wash your hands. It's not a flammable liquid. No exhaust ventilation required. No monitoring required. It's non-hazardous for transport. It says they're stored between 5 and 30 degrees. And then your spillage and your disposal requirements in there. No further comments really. And again, what it contains, and it's a risk. Once we've all that in place, it has a risk rating of low. All right, and then when it's renewed, when the date of this assessment has to be renewed, and who's done the assessment. That is the basic information that you will need for every substance, and you should be familiar with that information. If there's anything you're not sure about, then you need to go and speak with your supervisor, and that is that.